Hi, friends. As we continue to celebrate Advent this year, and as we are reminded of what this time of year focuses on, we're reminded that Jesus became human. And many of us know that. That's nothing new, that's nothing earth shattering. But it should be. It's a mystery. It's a mystery that we can't comprehend with our human minds. That God would become human, that God would walk in our flesh, walk on our earth, be born into humility, live a life of poverty, associate himself with those who struggle and walk this earth. That's a mystery that we can't understand, but it's a mystery that Advent invites us to open our eyes to. There's a story in the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus tells a parable where he says that whatever you did to the least of these, you did to me. And Jesus is speaking of those who are hungry or thirsty, those who go without clothing, those who have no home, those who have no family, those who are sick. Jesus dared to identify himself with the most needy of this world. And that's what Advent tells us, is that God became needy, a baby, and then a poor carpenter. It invites us to rethink where we see God in this world. And it invites us to rethink our own humanity, that God can dwell within us, that in fact God is among us. And that's a mystery that Advent invites us to think about. In the book of Revelation, Jesus says to the church, he says, I stand at the door and knock. To the church, he says, I stand at the door and knock. Will you open the door? And the idea is that Jesus is among us, among the people around in our world who we encounter every day. Dietrich Bonhoeffer put it this way. In reality, Jesus comes in the form of the beggar, of the dissolute human child in ragged clothes, asking for help. Jesus confronts you in every person that you meet. As long as there are people, Christ will walk the earth as your neighbor, as the one through whom God calls you, speaks to you, makes demands on your life. That is the great seriousness and mystery and the blessedness of the Advent message. Christ is standing at the door. He lives in the form of a human being among us. God lifts our humanity with his divinity and invites us to see him in our neighbor. Advent opens our eyes to that mystery. So today, as you live, as you walk, as you go about your day, pay attention to Christ among you. And remember that as you treat your neighbors, so you treat Christ. And as you remember who you are, remember that God dwells by his Spirit among us, that we are made in the image of God. Let that lift you and lift your neighbor as well. We'll see you. Have a great day.